Hello everybody, my name's Periwinkle and today I have a video that needs to be done in my opinion, and by the title I can tell so many of you guys are rolling your eyes or about to click off or you just want to see me blabber about stuff, and I can't blame you because I know how controversial this is and how many people hate this franchise, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. So I'm here to talk about why I think the Twilight vampires are actually really cool and how their qualities really make sense in a scientific way in my opinion. And I know it's going to get some backlash, but if you're just here to leave hate, just to go away. I feel like they get so much crap when actually their bodies, their qualities, their traits actually make a lot of sense, and not many people give them credit. And as you guys know, I am a huge Twilight superfan. I love Twilight, love the books, love the movies. Of course, love the books more than the movies. But it's just, I hear so many people talk trash about them. And I want to defend the franchise I love. So if you guys want to hear my argument against everyone saying that the Twilight universe vampires are stupid, keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing people usually bring up is the sparkling slash kind of the supernatural beauty aspect. Everyone's like, when vampires go out in the sun, they should burn, like how most vampire classic tales say. And I think that is actually a little more illogical than the sparkling, in my opinion. So it actually, it seems stupid at first, I'll admit, but then, you start diving into survival of the fittest and start looking at the food chain, and we have to look at this as that vampires are the apex predator. They are above humans on the food chain. That is how we have to look at this right now, and that's how I've always looked at it. And the sparkling is actually a trait they probably use to attract prey. It's kind of like a bird that flashes its pretty colors or something like that. I'm sure we all know an animal that has some aspect to attract prey. Not only are they supernaturally beautiful, so beautiful Bella can't even believe they're human, but when they sparkle, they look like diamonds. And as we know, diamonds are completely wanted by humans in most cases. And the sparkling and supernatural beauty is something they use to attract their prey because they are above the humans on the food chain. So this is a tool they have evolved to have in order to be able to feed easier, because you see someone sparkling, it's almost like a trance-like state for them because the vampires are so beautiful and so sparkly, it draws prey in. So the sparkling definitely makes sense. I think the people who try to say that the vampires should, burn up in the sun, I think that is a little more illogical. Maybe it's because they're so pale, and I mean, I burn up in the sun sometimes. Next is that they don't eat or sleep at all. Now, most people say that vampires should still be able to eat and that they sleep in coffins. The coffin thing, in my opinion, seems more illogical than what I'm presenting to you. We're going to look at this as a curse aspect, kind of like a maledictus, like a blood curse. So when you're a vampire, you get inflicted with the curse. It's not just scientific, there is a bit of magic in it. And the curse itself makes it to where you can only get nutrients from drinking blood. And whether it be human or animal, that's the only way you can get nutrients, that's the only way you can get energy. For humans, what we have to do is we have to eat, we have to sleep. That's the only way we get energy. So allowing them to eat and sleep is a cop-out, basically. This allows them to not have to drink blood. And I completely see why that would be necessary, because if they were able to eat and sleep, they wouldn't have to be the killers they are. They would just simply eat and sleep and get over it. But since they can't eat and sleep, they only have one way to get their energy, and that is from drinking blood. Next is that the Twilight vampires show up in mirrors. In most cases, vampires do not have a reflection in a mirror, and in the Twilight universe they do. And I think that was better, because most people say that vampires don't have a reflection because the darkness in their soul blocks the light. And in my opinion, I don't think mirrors really have anything to do with the soul. I think they are scientific, reflection, and that matter recognizes matter, light reflects light, and that's a really easy thing to disprove. Is I just think, a body reflects a body, You're gonna look in the mirror and see whatever it reflects back. Just because your soul was dark, or just because you sold your soul doesn't mean you don't have a reflection. Like, say you sold your soul to Satan. You're still gonna have a reflection because you are still mass, you are still matter. Next is the Volturi. So if you guys don't know, the Volturi is the government of vampires in the Twilight universe. And they are very ruthless, they are very cutthroat, and many people say that the Volturi should not exist. Well, just like vampires and us, we are all animals. Except for, of course, plants. But most of us intelligent creatures are animals. And if we look at it, most animals do have a hierarchy or a caste system. And we have a hierarchy. We have a government. We have a way of organization. Honeybees have organization. Ants have organization. Every single animal has organization. And a caste system really just makes sense because they are apex predators. They're most likely more intelligent than us because they are on top of us in the food chain, and they probably came up with the government much before us and knew that they would need to go through this process and have a government because they are much more intelligent, and not needing a government would lead into total chaos and lead into a Salem witch trial event where all vampires would be slaughtered by humans because they would be constantly sought after and everyone would know they exist. With the government, it's keeping it under control, and it's actually brilliant, and as we know, the vampires are extremely intelligent. Next is that they all have supernatural gifts, or most of them do. Alice can see the future, Edward can read people's minds, Jasper has the ability to control emotions around him, and in my opinion, I think that is completely logical that they have these gifts because, you know, as humans we all have talents. Some people can sing better than others, some people can talk better than others, some people can sew, some people can do different talents, and some people I do believe are psychics. Some people I do believe have like a little bit of intuition to be able to know what someone else is thinking. Some people have that charisma to be able to control emotions in a room. And when you become a vampire, everything enhances. Your looks, your smell, everything enhances to draw that prey in. So why can't other things enhance as well, such as these talents? Like Edward's ability to play the piano for Bella's song. That enhances as well as 100 years of practice. But these talents enhance with becoming a vampire because everything else enhances. It would be like your body growing to the size of Goliath, but your head being this big. It wouldn't make sense because if one thing enhances, or two things, or everything except one thing enhances, it really just doesn't make sense. The last thing most people dispute is vegetarians, and that is that the Cullens are able to drink the blood of animals and be able to subside. Now, I've had trouble accepting this myself because, you know, you want a full-on struggle, you want them to be able to look at Bella or have to go out and kill people, and it's just, you want more of a struggle in the story. Now, of course there are differences in blood between different animals, but I do believe that the nutrients needed per animal is in every animal's blood. So the nutrients they need to survive are in each animal's blood. Of course there are differences in blood, but I think that it's almost like a loophole, that they did find a loophole that you said, this curse said we had to drink blood. It didn't say what kind. I think that it takes advantage of a system, and I think it's very clever. And again, I think that all the nutrients they need is in any kind of blood, and it makes sense because Jasper still struggles with it, trying to control his hunger, and I think everyone except Carlisle struggles with their hunger, and it takes a super long time. Carlisle had been on Earth since the 1600s, and it takes a long time to control that hunger, and it makes sense. You can never be fully happy with animal blood, and I think, you know, they realize that, but they have to do what they do in order to remain themselves and not turn into the monsters they would hate to be. So anyway guys, that was my argument for the Twilight vampires and why I actually think they're a lot cooler than most people get them credit for, and that the story actually makes a lot more sense than people give it credit for. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this fits into a Halloween video. I think, you know, vampires, it works. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like down below and subscribe. I'm making Halloween videos every day for the entire month of October. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye!